Hey, what's going on? Just posting a little update about my recovery from my thalamic stroke. It's been about, say, 18 months since my last video, so I guess I kind of owe it to myself and the people watching to provide a little bit of an update. So, excuse the everything. Right now, I'm working 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. Just got off work, just got home, so I'm kind of sitting here in bed, droning on about uninteresting stuff. Where I'm at from the last time I did an update. So when I did my last update, I had just moved up to Washington State from Southern California. Was getting ready to go to a 4.5 month long training in like resident training academy, and just a lot of changes going on in my life. So the training academy went fine as well as can be. Day before I shipped off, I actually, just by pure happenstance, was able to get a neurological exam, an appointment, and the doctor told me that the test results were that I was missing field of view from, I think, the 9 o'clock to about the 12 o'clock position in both eyes. So that explained quite a bit. As a result of the stroke, I did have vision damage. I think that's like the longest lasting effect is just kind of dealing with that, but it's getting easier as days go by. Plus, I have my cheap Amazon glasses to help get me through. Yeah, other than that, as far as the recovery goes, fatigue still a little bit of a problem. Um, Overall health wise, I think I gained a lot of weight, and I think it was just from the sedentary aspect of going through, laying in bed for a couple months, going through just the natural recovery process, and then also just not being able to feel hunger. I'll notice myself kind of like going down the drain, and then I'll just like eat like a fat pig, and just trying to kind of find a little bit of a better balance as far as how much I'm actually taking in versus how much I'm burning. So lately, I have been trying to pay attention to my Fitbit a little bit more. Been trying to get a little bit more physical activity going, and although it can be difficult at times, just because of the fatigue and the crappy hours I work, just getting out there and just kind of forcing yourself to do it, I think, is very important. Not just for your own health, but when you have a setback the way I did, just getting through and recovering. So, a little over a year ago, I was shipped off to attend that 4.5 month training academy, and I wasn't expecting it, but I ended up being like the lead class guy, and kind of had to follow around and take care of 22 other people, which was pretty difficult. I'll admit, a lot of the days I was just tired. Like I would get back to my room and I was just done, like toast. And I think a big part of that was the fact that I didn't have these. So I've noticed that like blue light tends to kind of mess up my eyes a lot. Makes me just feel tired, makes my eyes feel fatigued. So wearing these helps with the focus, but also really helps kind of filter out the stuff that causes me to go down the drain, so to speak. So I ended up finishing the academy, got sent back home to start, the next phase of my training and stuff like that. Everything went pretty well, and I've noticed just the more brain exercise I do, the more tired I get, which is just a byproduct of the stroke. I think that's just natural. It's just going to be like that, until I kind of reach my peak of recovery. I would say that there is improvement, although it happens so gradually and slowly that I don't really notice it. There's been no like aha moment or like something where all of a sudden I just notice everything's better, or better than it was. It just kind of happens. So been trying to keep track of that, and been trying to kind of just recapture like my own life, I guess you can say, and doing things for me as opposed to doing things for other people. It can be a little bit difficult because I don't want to be brash or abrasive. But at the same time, when things are important to you, you kind of have to just go for it. So a lot of adjustments in that respect. Just trying to be careful with relationships that are important to me. Trying to reconnect and recapture lost time, especially with the kids. And I think it's important. My youngest is 8, my oldest is 15, and it's just really important to to focus on that, to focus on developing them, teaching them, and I hate to say making up for lost time, but just trying to maximize the time that you do have, because those years you'll never get back, that time you'll never get back. Overall, I hate to say it and to be short, but really not a whole lot to report. I mean, I think the last video update I did, I was out walking in Drayton Harbor, and physically wise, I don't really think a whole lot's changed. It's just getting used to the fact that I don't feel hunger, getting used to trying to watch that nutrition level without overeating and becoming a fat sack of crap again. And the brain drain, especially from having to focus and push through on a midnight shift. I can tell you right now, a year ago, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So combination of just physical conditioning and practicing the whole focus. I will say there's been a few times where I can catch myself slipping up, but it's something that I recognize is happening, and I can take steps to kind of double my efforts to focus better, as opposed to just letting it slide and making bad decisions or doing dumb stuff. So I think for those of you out there who are kind of watching this and wondering what's going to be for you, I think the key is to just push and push and push and go as hard as you possibly can. Have people who are close to you who are willing to kind of keep an eye on how you're doing and give you feedback on what you may be missing, you may not be noticing, and really just push. That's all I can say. So today is the 3-year anniversary. It's 3 years almost exactly. I think I'm about 45 minutes early, which is fine because I'm about to go to sleep. But I think I try to not focus on what happened and more of just focus on what's going to happen tomorrow. What can I do better? How high the ball is going to bounce back up. Because had I just laid in bed and kind of resigned myself to my fate, I'd probably still be there. I know my life would probably be a lot worse. So for anybody who's kind of like looking for that, bit of advice, I'd say really to just hang in there. I remember before I even posted my first video, when I woke up in the ICU, I remember my eyes were paralyzed and I was just so distraught. And I remember thinking like my life was over. I'm never going to be able to, work again. I'm never going to be able to be a good dad again. I'm invalid, whatever. And that was where I decided to really just push myself and to kind of get back in the game. I'm very fortunate. The damage was a lot less severe than it could have been, although it was more severe than they initially thought. So the damage to the eyes, I guess, is indicative of a midbrain injury. I'm no expert, of course, but originally they thought it was just localized to the back, to the thalamus region. And again, it's just finding out a combination that works for you, really pushing yourself and focusing and trying to get better, every day, get better at something every day, whether it be physical or mental or whatever. And I will admit, sometimes the energy level is just terrible. I'll get tired, I'll stay up for long hours, and I feel like I can just never get enough sleep. But making yourself get up, making yourself face the day, making yourself stay out of that hole that you might want to crawl into, maintain your relationships with people, and do what you can to just kind of stay with it, I think is the key. So with that, I've rambled on a little bit too long, so I'm going to let it go, and I'll try to do better, maybe check in 6 months or at least in a year. So with that said, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, good comments in my videos, which I post not just here, but on other platforms. And so thank you for the engagement, because it really does help me kind of stay accountable to myself. But with that said, thank you very much. Take care, and I will see you around.